Hi, my name's Anthony Hines. For the last 40 plus years, I've been trying to help people with their career as well as help job seekers to get their next great opportunity. I've done that and I do that because it's terrible to be unemployed. I know the feeling. I had the feeling. I never forget the feeling. So, what I do is whenever I come up with an idea to help job seekers or help people with a career, aspiration, I come up with a podcast. Okay. Now, some of the stuff you may hear in these podcasts, you might have heard in other podcasts that I've done. That's because I do that on purpose to reinforce the premise. I want to reinforce the mindset because it's very easy to forget these things when you're out there trying to get a job and things get to you. Okay? So, what I like to do is reinforce my idea, reinforce the premise so that people will remember this stuff when they're out there and things are not working for them. If you like my podcasts, go to podbean.com, Podbean, and follow me on Podbean. And also, if you want my career podcast, please subscribe at podbean.com. That said, go to my LinkedIn profile, Anthony Hines. You'll see it out there. Go to my LinkedIn profile, get my job search article. It has a complete checklist of how to get your job search moving. Okay? Again, go to my LinkedIn profile, get my job search article, and do the steps. And you will see that your job search will move. And I mean it will move a lot faster than if you don't do these steps. Something on that list will help you. That's all I say. Something on that list. Okay, today I want to talk about industry. A lot of times people look at the real sexy companies and the real sexy industries when they're out of work because they tend to apply at the sexy companies, right? Or some people don't apply at the sexy companies because they think they'll never get hired. My feeling is this: look at the job, people. Look at the job. If you qualify for the job, I don't care what company it is, go for it. Now, that said, focus your time on the non sexy companies, things like utility, maybe retail, or some of the non-sexy industries because it's harder for them to find people, right? And just because the job you get now isn't the most dream job you get, even though I always say, right? Even though I always say that your career is your responsibility and let's end unemployment one person at a time, okay? You can always look for a job while you have a job, all right? So, my point is, you can get a job quicker if you're in situations that do not have as much competition. Not that you're a bad fit or not that you don't have skills, but I always, when I was unemployed, looked for situations where there were companies that were not getting that many applications. That way, I would be the one that they would see and they would spend more time on my application, right? So look for companies in industries that are not as so called sexy because those companies will have less people applying for their jobs because everybody will want things like Microsoft, Oracle, Google, Amazon, all of the major sexy companies. But you know what, people? There's a lot of suppliers of those companies that are in the background that very few people know. Okay? Like a big iPhone supplier is Skyworks Solutions. All right? Yeah. If you were dealing with Apple or dealing with a lot of iPhones or the like, you would know who Skyworks Solutions are. But what if you weren't? Right? My point is, look for companies that support large scale companies because those companies are also in the mindset that they are with the big company, but they're just not that actual company. A supplier, someone that provides parts, someone that provides service to those companies. Like if it's, say, an auto company, you want to look at the company that sells the auto parts, right? So look at the secondary companies that supply the companies that are the hot companies, okay? Also, look at startups. I'm telling you, go to the Business Journal in your city. In the Boston, it would be the Boston Business Journal. Just insert city and go find it. Go read some articles and look at their book of lists and look for small startup companies that are looking for your skills. They're, they're in a real hiring mode. They want to hire quickly. So guess what, people? You want to apply. All right. So think outside of the companies you know. Look at the book of lists and look at these business journal um, publications and look for companies you've never heard of. There could be a little startup 2 blocks from your house that needs your skills. Look at the industry and look at non-sexy industries. Look at pot suppliers. Look at secondary companies to the big companies, and also look with your transferable skills and look at industries maybe that are really in need of people that are not getting people, but you have transferable skills for. Widen your net, people. Widen your net with ways that are easy to do it based on transferable skills, based on suppliers, based on companies nobody's looking at, based on non-sexy companies, and not just the ones that have the nice neon sign buildings that have just gone up in an area. Yeah, you can apply there, but look at the other companies in that building because those are the companies that might be hiring as well. All money is green, people. All money is green. So my point is, look at the secondary companies. Look at the non-sexy industries. Look at the suppliers and look at companies that are startups. Just widen your net to get into the job application area of companies that you might never have thought of. Because you know what? You're only looking for one job, people. And if it's not the most perfect job, guess what? You can always keep looking. But it's a lot easier to find a job when you have a job. So widen your net. Look at those companies that nobody thinks much about, like utility companies or industrial companies. Look at those because you know what? Those companies are very stable, provide good salaries, and are just not as sexy. But I will tell you this, sometimes you think you're going to a company that's a certain type of company, then you get in and you realize that the company has a lot more going for it and has a lot more things happening than you ever realized. So my point to you is don't assume any company is boring or anything like that. And don't assume that it wouldn't be some place that you wouldn't be considered. The fact of the matter is, these small companies that do well for the larger companies or the ones that are in the non-sexy industries, they pay very well to keep their people. They give bonuses. They have great benefits. And you know what? Who's to say you couldn't grow in a company like that? So my point is, look at these things and widen your net because that way you can get your next great opportunity. And who's to say that this opportunity won't be your best one? Now, go out and check out my article on my LinkedIn profile. Again, my name is Anthony Hines. Go out and check out my job search article and download it and get your job search moving and listen to my other podcast. I have many, many podcasts to help job seekers. And please spread the word and tell everyone. And then go to Podbean and follow me because there's a lot of stuff that you can learn based on my experience. Because all of my podcasts are based on my experience. Not a book, not a picture, but my experience. Hopefully, they help you out. Have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye now.